What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 101 of Talk Wrestling. Thank you all very much for making us, again, the most watched wrestling discussion show on YouTube. 11,000 subscribers and counting are watching this show right now. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you all for pushing me toward a new plateau in my life as far as my shows. First time one of my shows has ever gone to 101, so thank you very much. I've surpassed even XMV, which is something I never thought would happen, so thank you guys very much for watching. Again, last week was a WWE discussion show, and I've gotten a lot of flack for being a WWE mark, and I did praise WWE quite a bit last week. There are some mistakes in WWE, but I chose not to focus on those. TNA, unfortunately, there are some heavy mistakes, and I'm going to focus on that, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for that today, and I'm sorry. But there are mistakes within TNA, that need to be corrected. However, there are some bright spots, and I'll get to everything right now today. Next week, of course, is the mailbag show. We're bringing the mailbag back as of 102, so we'll get to that next week. TNA, the big news out of TNA this week, last week, they are going back to Monday nights full-time. As of Monday, March 8th, they will be live every other week with a tape broadcast on the 15th and the 29th and so on. But Monday, March 8th is going to be another live Impact, and they're going to tape to air the next week. That's huge for TNA. Right now, they're doing 1.2s again on Thursday nights. Will they reach a new plateau again? Will they surpass what they reached on Monday, January 4th? Hard to say. Some of the stuff they're presenting right now deserves to be, Monday night. Some of the stuff, quite frankly, doesn't. You talk about, Hogan and Bischoff have taken over, essentially. They're running the show. Some of the storylines being presented are kind of lame. I mean, the whole Orlando Screwjob thing that went down a few weeks back, that was so hokey and so stupid. I'm sorry. I can't buy into that at all whatsoever. The fact that they had to, and not only are they copying WWE, but Hogan repeatedly is mentioning WWE on the broadcast. You don't acknowledge WWE. You don't even acknowledge that they exist. You know what? You just go in there and you give it your best shot and don't, well, what are we doing? What are you going to do when we come after you? Don't go after Vince. Present your product as best you can, and if the fans tie into it, great. If they don't, then there's something wrong, and tweak the product. Simple as that. AJ and Ric Flair, I like Ric Flair. I always have liked Ric Flair. I don't understand the need to have AJ be a heel world champion. The world champion does not always have to be a heel. Sometimes it's cool to see AJ just be AJ and not this carbon copy of Ric Flair they presented over the last month or so. It's stupid. The band being back together, or they're feuding, or they're back together, or they're feuding. Last we checked, Hall and Waltman attack Nash, and Hogan's, not with them, but he is with them, but he's not with them. The whole thing is very confusing. It's very Russo-esque. The whole thing reeks of Vince Russo's writing, and it sucks, and I'm sorry to say that for all you TNA fans out there that are liking what's going on. I don't. The whole thing is hokey. Ken Anderson is being pushed, which is awesome. He's in TNA finally. Brian Kendrick's in TNA finally. That's awesome. You're getting Pope D'Angelo Dinero getting the big push. He won the 8-card stud tournament the other night against All Odds. He is the #1 contender at Lockdown. He'll face the world champion AJ Styles inside the cage match. So we'll see what happens in a 4-sided cage as opposed to a 6-sided steel. They're teasing, as of this writing, a turn of Matt Morgan screwing over his partner in the 8-card stud tournament. Is he going to be a full-fledged heel? Are they going to stay the champions? Who knows? The Nasty Boys defeat Team 3D. Let me repeat that for those of you that don't understand what I just said. The Nasty Boys, two guys that have not been over and not been in shape in 20 years, defeated one of the top tag teams of all time, Team 3D. And Jimmy Hart helped them do it. I don't get it. The Nasty Boy, nobody wants to see the Nasty Boys except the true Hogan marks, and the biggest Hogan mark in the world right here does not want to see the Nasty Boys. I don't like the Nasty Boys. I've never been a fan of the Nasty Boys, to be perfectly honest with you. I never got their shtick. I don't understand it. Team 3D is one of the top tag teams of all time, if not the top tag team in TNA, and they're being asked to put these guys over. That's ridiculous. It's stupid. I like the fact that they've signed the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and yes, they've turned them into Generation Me, Max and Jeremy, and that's kind of silly. But the fact that they're on the cards and they're wrestling and they're getting themselves over, I think that's tremendous that Dixie signed them. Congratulations to Matt and Nick on being signed by TNA. I love that. Bravo. Awesome Kong. What's going on with Awesome Kong? Is she with the company? Is she not with the company? Is she going to come back? Is she going to remain knockout tag champion with Hamada? What's going to happen with Bubba the Love Sponge? You know, I've been watching Impact. He's still there, and Kong is not. And Bubba's the one that did wrong, not Kong, although Kong took it a little far, I think, by lashing out. I hope Kong remains with TNA. I don't think she'll get over in WWE. I don't think WWE will put her over. She doesn't have that diva look. She's much more of a TNA person. Again, just my opinion. It's my show. I can have my opinion. Jeff Jarrett is being pushed to the bottom of the mountain, all the way down. And Bischoff's making him work his way up. I've never been a Jeff Jarrett fan, to be honest with you. I like him as a person. He's a nice guy. I've never been a fan of his work, let's put it that way. And the only reason he did get over as champion for so long when he wasn't WWE champion is because he owned the company. That's how I feel. I firmly believe that. The fans did not dislike him because he was champion. The fans disliked him because they disliked him. And he had that X-Pac heat that's so famous for Sean Waltman generating when he was X-Pac back in the WWF. The heat that you don't want to draw, the heat that they legitimately just hate your guts. They don't want to see any part of you. They want you, you know, strung up in irons and, you know, melted with hot oil. It's horrible. Jarrett had that. And for him to be where he is now doesn't surprise me. The fans, you know, like Jarrett now because he's been babyface, but, you know, they disliked him for so long, it doesn't surprise me he's where he's at. Jeff Hardy, was it a one-time shot? Is he back in TNA? Is he going to be with TNA? Nobody knows. All they know is he's got a court case coming up, and WWE's not going to sign him back. I don't know. Go figure. You guys know how I feel about Jeff Hardy. You've heard me many times on this show get on Jeff Hardy's case. I think signing him or getting him for that one-night appearance was kind of like an FU to WWE. Not the move. And I think it was just kind of like, haha, we got your guy. He don't want to work with you anymore. He works with us. And they're not going to do anything with him. I think that's silly. They should sign him full-time and let him work and let him wrestle. Let him do the things he can do best. Jeff Hardy, when he's on, there's nobody like him. I don't like him, but there's nobody like him when he's on. TNA should sign him up full-time. They're playing kind of hot potato with the Knockouts title right now between ODB and Tara, back and forth, with Tara currently holding the title and ODB being this very vengeful one dirty bitch. She's upset. She's pissed off. She wants her belt back. She's going to get it by any means necessary. The other knockouts, you got Angelina feuding with the Beautiful People over, you know, them replacing her with Lacey Von Erich. She's upset, rightfully so. I like Angelina, but I like the Beautiful People too. It's all one big happy little feud. I like it a lot. It's good stuff. Overall, my analysis with TNA is it could be better, but it could be a lot worse. They are doing certain things right, and they're pushing toward getting themselves into that, you know, full-time Monday night slot, which they have, and they're gonna take it to the next level, I hope, on Monday, March 8th. I hope they get things rolling in the right direction. We'll see what happens. That'll do it for 101. I know it was short, I know it was brief, and I'm sorry. Not a whole lot to talk about with TNA. There were a lot of things. I went over the entire list, but I just rapid fire. Next week, we're going to go back to what made this show so successful, made this show so famous, the mailbag. We'll see you next time for 102. Take care.